diagnosed with cancer. The devastating diagnosis. It was a crisp autumn morning in late September 2023 when Kate Middleton, the beloved Princess of Wales, walked into London's prestigious King Edward VII Hospital for what she thought was just a routine checkup and scan. The 41-year-old mother of three had been experiencing some persistent abdominal pains and bloating over the past few months, but brushed it off as simply the stresses of royal life and her busy schedule catching up to her. However, the scan results told a vastly different story. After sitting down with a solemn team of doctors, Kate received a devastating cancer diagnosis. She had an aggressive form of ovarian cancer that had already advanced and metastasized to other areas of her abdomen. The prognosis was dire without immediate treatment. The news left Kate and her husband Prince William absolutely shattered. Here was one of the world's most famous women, the future queen consort who had won the hearts of an entire nation through her grace, strength, and charitable works, now facing the fight of her life against a deadly disease that gave her less than a 20% chance of long-term survival based on where it was caught. Plunged into despair, William struggled to compose himself as he broke the heartbreaking news to the rest of the royal family, including his father King Charles III and brother Prince Harry. Everyone was simply stunned and devastated, fearing the worst but praying for a miracle. A very public battle. After allowing a few days for the initial shock to settle in, Kensington Palace announced that the Princess of Wales had been diagnosed with late-stage ovarian cancer and would be beginning an aggressive treatment protocol involving multiple cycles of chemotherapy and other targeted procedures. The palace statement revealed that while the situation was quite serious, Kate and her medical team were approaching it with determined optimism and she would continue to carry out public duties as her treatment schedule allowed. Instantly, news of Kate's cancer diagnosis plunged the entire United Kingdom, and indeed the world, into a collective mourning. For Britons, it resurfaced the same fears and emotions they had grappled with decades earlier when William's mother, the beloved Princess Diana, was tragically killed in that Paris car accident. The idea of the nation losing another beloved people's princess, especially one who had meant so much through her tireless charitable works, was simply devastating. Suddenly, Kensington Palace and royal residences across the UK were flooded with a tsunami of flowers, cards, well wishes, and outpourings of love from admirers around the world. Photos of crowds gathered outside palace gates leaving tributes and offerings quickly became global news images that turned Kate's cancer battle into an international vigil and cause for hope, prayer, and inspiration. Trying to remain strong for grace. Despite the devastation of her diagnosis, Kate was determined to face the fight with grace, courage, and her trademark strength that had made her so beloved as a member of the royal family. While she drastically cut back her schedule and public appearances, she made sure to show herself whenever she was physically capable, waving and smiling as she entered London cancer clinics for treatments or visiting with other women battling the same disease. She sought to use her global platform and the world's spotlight on her condition to raise awareness and funds for improved ovarian cancer screenings, research and support initiatives. Charitable organizations quickly rallied around Kate's cause and the Princess Effect created a staggering outpouring of international donations and new attention to what had long been one of the most underfunded and overlooked areas of cancer research. In a powerful video recorded at the start of her treatments in which she was already visibly drained, a makeup-free Kate spoke directly to her supporters about her refusal to back down in the face of such grim odds. Her trembling voice resolute, she declared, "I am immensely fortunate to have world-class medical care and the love and support of my soulmate William and my incredible children. But I know that many other women battling this horrific disease lack access to such privileges and face this scourge alone and in poverty. With every fiber of my being, I vow to use this ordeal to shed light on this crisis. Together, we will find a way to improve screenings, treatment protocols, and provide funding for research that produces better testing and cures to save future lives? For all the mothers, daughters, and sisters waging war on this disease, my heart is with you always. In becoming the globally recognized face of ovarian cancer awareness and research, Kate was aided by her husband William's own foundation and charitable platform as well. The Prince of Wales spearheaded new corporate partnerships and launched a massive social media campaign to fight for Kate and raise funds for special clinical trials and breakthrough treatment initiatives around the world. Kate's War. Kate entered into an intense treatment regimen consisting of 4 chemotherapy, surgical procedures, radiation therapies, and other scientific protocols aimed at aggressively attacking the widespread cancer. Some of the experimental therapies proved just as challenging as the actual disease, the side effects often leaving Kate emaciated and bedridden for long stretches before finding the strength to recover for additional rounds of treatment. Her family and the palace staff watched on, essentially helpless as Kate withered away during the relentless cycles of treatment. There were several public appearances where the haunted, gaunt look on Prince William's face told the story of just how dire the situation had become. His wife of over 20 years and the mother of his 3 beloved children was essentially fighting for her life before the entire world. Privately, Kate's friends and those briefed on her condition described some moments where she simply longed to give up, to pack it all in and spend whatever remaining days she had left embracing her family and forms of palliative care. But her unyielding spirit, faith in God, and sense of duty and purpose in helping others battling this disease always pulled her through the lowest moments of depression, nausea, and fatigue. The world watched on in rapt attention as Kate continued her public battle, sharing intimate entries through social media posts and short update videos between treatment phases. Photos of the skeletal, hairless princess alternated with images of her bright smile and words of inspiration, advocacy, and grace. Major television networks dedicated primetime specials to her ordeal and progress, announcing any bits of positive news like temporary remission periods as welcome events for global celebration. Hope emerges amidst setbacks. For months, Kate's ovarian cancer journey was filled with constant emotional whiplash as brief periods of hope were continually dashed by demoralizing setbacks. There were promising remission windows where her body seemed to be responding to treatments, only to have new spot cancers emerge and the process of attacking the disease begin anew. The physical toll was excruciating, coupled with the emotional fatigue of constant uncertainty and being in a very public life-or-death struggle before her adoring fans. Privately within the royal family, there were deep concerns Kate may simply not have the stamina left to continue much longer. Prince William was becoming noticeably haggard with worry and the pressures of also running the firm in his official duties while also caring for his 3 children. His public displays of optimism and dedication to fundraising for research into potential cures contrasted sharply with the drained, haunted look of emotional trauma behind the scenes. This period of her journey brought Kate to some of her lowest points as her weight plummeted and she endured endless cycles of nausea, body aches, and constantly rotating chemotherapy injections. The typically radiant princess regularly appeared in photos as a frail, hairless shell of herself, often confined to wheelchairs or needing to be virtually carried by aides and medical staff. On his long commutes back and forth between royal residences and London cancer wards, William privately confided to his closest confidants that Kate had bluntly discussed ceasing any further treatment and simply being allowed to enter comfort and palliative care during her final days if things continued without improvement. He constantly volleyed between emotions of being her staunch life partner and clinging to hope versus wanting to ensure his wife's wishes were followed regarding ending her physical suffering if she could not go on. As 2024 arrived, the Prince of Wales was actively planning for potential future scenarios as the devastating realities of Kate's condition worsened. Protocol discussions were being made about future accession scenarios, naming a potential future regent, and even preliminary plans for what a future Queen Catherine's life celebration state funeral proceedings could entail. The miracle turnaround. Just when the situation appeared to be at its absolute nadir, with both the palace and her loved ones beginning to expect the worst, Kate's battle took an almost miraculous turn that electrified the world. In early February 2024, there were consecutive scans that showed the aggressive experimental treatment protocols had finally succeeded in halting the growth and spread of the cancer. For the first time in over a year of constant procedures, the malignancies had actually started shrinking across multiple areas. The development sparked legitimate shockwaves of excitement, hope and celebration across Britain and globally. What had been such a public, emotionally draining fight appeared to have reached a turning point, into the princess entering an official remission status. The ovarian cancer that had ravaged her body and been a heavy pall over the entire royal family was potentially being brought to its knees through sheer perseverance and the incredible advances in cancer-fighting medicine. When Kate felt strong enough, she addressed the world with an inspiring social media video of her and William embracing in a firm, tearful hug. Her eyes shone with a renewed vigor and fresh weight gain, and she stared directly into the camera with her trademark hope and determination. "My darling people, this is a day I worried may never come, as this horrible disease robbed me of such strength and attacked my body mercilessly. But with the help of my medical angels on earth, the amazing power of revolutionary cancer treatments, and the bottomless support and prayers from you all, I am finally here to say, the fight has taken a turn. I am entering remission and feeling like the luckiest woman on earth." Images of the fresh-faced princess walking unassisted in hospital corridors and physical therapy sessions were trumpeted across global media like scenes of surviving a horrific battlefield. The courage of Catherine, the Princess of Wales, resonated as an inspirational tale of bravery and resilience against overwhelming odds. Her remission gave the entire watching world a reason for hope and joy amidst a seemingly sad story that had been unfolding over the past year. Perhaps most powerful in those inspirational images was seeing Kate once again beaming with pride as she stood alongside her family, Prince William and their three cherished children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. In the many heart-wrenching photos from her worst days of treatment, this priceless family united had almost never seemed possible again, given the dire outlook. The Wales family, united in celebration and remembrance. In the aftermath of achieving remission, Kate and William committed themselves to spending as much quality family time together as possible, while remaining realistic that her condition, while greatly improved, would still require constant monitoring and additional preventative treatments. They retreated to their beloved Enmore Hall country estate in Norfolk for an extended period in spring 2024, essentially having a second honeymoon, reconnecting with each other and their children. There were beautiful scenes of walks on the family's property, picnics and games on plush palace greens, and re-strengthening the family unit that had all endured such mental and emotional strain the past couple of years. Prince Louis, just 6 years old during the depths of his mother's ordeal, had particularly struggled with confusion and fear, seeing the dramatic physical deterioration of his once healthy, vibrant mom whom he idolized. So these extended family moments allowed him to reconnect with a smiling mother who could once again play energetically with him or share warm, tight hugs. George and Charlotte, the two older children, handled Kate's fight with more maturity but faced their own challenges and had been open about seeking counseling. Their parents praised the strength and support they provided each other as siblings, while William and Kate were physically and mentally consumed with her treatments. These children, who had seen such trauma at a young age, were now celebrating their indomitable mother and the second chance at life she'd been granted. Their joy was unrestrained during a late spring family getaway to the Scottish Highlands, when Kate exuberantly took them all on an impromptu mother-children hike through the hills. It was the ultimate visual symbolizing her return from the brink. While in Scotland, William and Kate paid an emotional visit to the Memorial Gardens in Balmoral for the prince's late mother, Princess Diana. In speaking about Kate's public battle, Prince William remarked about how his mother would have been so proud of Catherine's amazing courage and strength in the face of this horrible disease. Whenever I felt helpless or like hope was lost during the worst moments, I tried to channel Mum's spirit and wisdom to find the fortitude to be strong for my wife and children. After reconnecting as a family unit, Prince William and Princess Catherine pivoted to making the most of her remission by doubling their efforts around ovarian cancer awareness and research. They both participated in international trips and events sharing Kate's story while also honoring those who had succumbed to the disease during her battle. The most poignant moment came during an ovarian cancer research fundraiser gala in London. Just 13 months after her diagnosis and being given dire odds of long-term survival, a beaming but lean Kate took the stage to a rapturous standing ovation from the audience of doctors, researchers, donors, and supporters. After emotionally expressing her gratitude to her medical team, family, and the firm staff that never left her side, she pivoted to a powerful call to action. None of you will ever truly understand what it's like to stare cancer in the face and accept your mortality as your body quite literally disintegrates despite the countless invasive and debilitating treatments. I've seen my fellow warriors lose that fight. I've witnessed the light extinguish from their beautiful souls. Their voices crying out for more time silenced far too soon. And often because these diseases were not caught soon enough due to lack of research and screening funding. So while I have reclaimed my life for now through the miracles of medicine and prayer, that is not enough. Through this process, I have seen the urgent, heartbreaking need to develop better detection practices and ensure every single woman has access to the tools that quite literally saved my life. This is my purpose now, and I will dedicate every ounce of energy to making that dream a reality. Consider this my vow to the departed who lost their battles and a promise to all the women still fighting for their lives or yet to be diagnosed. In making her cancer journey so public and speaking about it so directly, Kate exhibited a vulnerability and stiff upper lip grace that only endeared her more to the British people. She purposely used her platform to put a high-profile face on the disease, smashing antiquated taboos of hushed privacy when it came to a woman's reproductive health. Kate's advocacy against ovarian cancer became the defining crusade of her royal life from here on out. She participated directly with researchers, sharing her body's data and pushing for new clinical trials based on the experimental treatments that had spurred her remission. More importantly, Kate used her global fame to fight the stigma, spread awareness, and open more public discourse around women's hormonal cancers and the importance of early detection. With her sister-in-law Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, she launched an ambitious private foundation, the Wildflower Initiative, that worked to advocate for increased government funding for genetic testing, improved screenings, and providing more affordable testing, treatment, and aid to women of poorer economic backgrounds. True to her hallmark strength of character, Kate refused to let the trauma and near-death experience she had endured be just a sad chapter of darkness in her story. She proclaimed to the world that it would instead be the eternal light that illuminates a future where all women have the resources and early warnings to combat this disease. Her crusade would ensure other mothers, daughters, sisters, and wives need not experience the living hell she went through of wondering if they would ever see their loved ones again. Kate's battle becomes part of her enduring legacy. Over the remainder of the 2020s and her future reign as the United Kingdom's Queen Consort, Kate kept her vow and wielded her influence to remarkable impact. New clinical breakthroughs, identification of key genetic markers, and nationwide pubic education initiatives funded through her Wildflower Initiative led to a dramatic rise in early ovarian cancer detection rates across not only the UK but a growing list of Commonwealth nations. While the survival rates for women diagnosed in the late stages of ovarian cancer remained grim, the key to saving thousands of lives proved to be widespread implementation of affordable early screening tools. By 2030, the rate of ovarian cancer being caught in its earliest stages before significant metastasis had increased over 400%, directly correlated to screenings promoted and funded by Kate's advocacy. Additionally, Kate remained an instrumental part of an international focus group consisting of the world's top cancer researchers and pharmaceutical companies committed to developing new ovarian cancer treatments tailored to individual genetic profiles. The Catherine Protocol, an advanced form of genetic gene therapy treatment, went into official clinical trials in 2032, and some variations became FDA-approved targeted treatments within 5 years. When Kate officially became the Queen Consort of the United Kingdom upon the coronation of her husband King William V in 2035, she made her Gemstone Ovarian Cancer Initiative the official royal charity of the new monarch. With Kate now in that prominent globally recognized position and working in tandem with the leaders of the UK and world governments committed to curing the disease, her efforts redoubled in impact within the span of 5 years. On the 15th anniversary of her original diagnosis and resumption of remission in 2038, Queen Catherine celebrated the achievement of 2 historic milestones. 1. The rate of late-stage ovarian cancer diagnosis in the United Kingdom had fallen below 10% for the first time ever thanks to the Gemstone screening programs. Over 90% of new cases were now being caught at an early enough stage to be treated very effectively. 2. After over 2 decades of her advocacy, research, and new treatment trials launched directly from the Catherine protocols,